A while ago, I opened Godot, and I had a plan. I was ready to make the most beautiful games that could put GTA 6 on its knees. But then I realized that my plan had two critical flaws. First, I remembered that making games outside of my imagination is a very difficult thing to attempt. And second, there's no point in putting a lot of effort in a game, because it's very likely that only I and God will be aware of its existence. So I had to make a different plan. I had to make a game that would be simple, and of course, most importantly, fun. Fictional. So first of all, I had to come up with an idea. And of course, we can't get simpler than one four-sided beautiful square. Unless you're into triangles, and in that case, you're just weird. Now the idea of the game is as follows. Square can roll to gain speed. Speed is strength. Square fights other shapes. Other shapes will attack square in different ways. If square touches another shape while having more strength, other shape dies. Game mode is infinite. Making a rolling square is the easiest thing someone can make. All you need is like 5 lines of code. I also made it so that the camera smoothly follows the square, so that's 2 extra lines. As for the square strength, I simply multiplied the linear and angular velocity together and divided by some other number, so I can sound smart. I also very legally stole a font from this site and slapped it on top of a square and its enemies, which in this case is one horrified rectangle, unable to defend itself. And that isn't good, so I had to give the rectangle the ability to fight back. And since square is physics based, obviously the rectangle shouldn't be different, to keep the game's vibe intact. So, for that reason, I decided that the rectangle's way of attacking is of course a gun. Like, think about it. Guns are the pinnacle of human engineering in terms of physics. Oh no sir, that's actually a rocket shut up. Anyways, I pulled up some
Glock 17 Gen 4
reference and started drawing. And let me tell you that this
Glock 17 Gen 4
came out looking so crisp. It was so good that I finally started to love making textures for the first time. Then I hated it again after 5 seconds. So I programmed the gun to, well, be a gun, and I also added a little shattering effect as a damage indicator. And I made the rectangle move. Then I added some bullet particles, and now the rectangle is finally complete. The next part is my nightmare as a programmer, and that is making the map, which includes making the textures too. It's funny how I rather type random lines of black magic than just draw things, but I stopped thinking that's funny after seeing the results of what I made. Okay, hear me out. I know this looks like a bunch of shiny bricks from Mario or something, but this is for a city map, alright? Now, if you pay attention a little bit, you can see these things. Now don't panic, I'll explain what these are. The first thing is like a bush wall, you know? The thing that rich people put around their house. It might look like a green aquarium that got taken over by alien parasites, but that's just your imagination. This is like a big trash can, the one you'd find around parks, very simple. This is obviously a light bulb. Like, if you didn't get this, then the issue is honestly in you, not me. Now, this might look like the blue guy from Among Us, with a picture of that one penguin meme on its shirt. But no, this is actually a mailbox, with a picture of a mail, in 360p, divided by 360p. This is like a park share, not a cage to store a human body in it. I think that's pretty obvious. Now I want to make the game go infinitely, and for that I need the map to go infinitely too. And so I decided to make the map into different pieces. The pieces spawn randomly, and each time you clear out a piece, a new one spawns. I also made it so each time you kill an enemy you will recover some of your HP back. This is done so it can be used as an excuse to justify all the genocide you've done. So for now I made 3 different pieces, and they all have the unique ability of giving you anger issues. Next I had to code the actual map generation, and for that I made the pieces have an entrance and an exit. When you clear a piece, its exit will disappear, and a new piece will spawn at the old piece's exit. To do that I got the first piece's location, added the distance to its exit, then subtracted the second piece's location from its entrance. Now you might be asking, hey Mazasu, I'm not retarded, I've been to middle school, I know how distances work. And you see, I thought the exact same thing too. So it took me like 10 minutes to write the code for the generation, and then it took me 2 hours to fix the bugs coming from it. A wise man once said, "Code will always do what you tell it to do, but never what you want it to do." Now that we somehow got the map generation working, we have to set the player's spawn, and a cool idea of where that happens is a lab. So well, I hopped into GIMP and started drawing the lab. You know, I can read people's minds, and what you're thinking right now is, "Hey Masasu, those textures are trash. In fact, they're so bad you must pay me for looking at them by killing yourself." And for that I say, okay, now that we both agree that the textures are so beautiful, I put them in one depressing little room to create a lab. Then I added a breakable door to the lab. This door will serve as the tutorial, because your strength needs to be past 10 to break it. It is very regrettable that I couldn't make a 20-minute long and skippable tutorial that plays each level, but well, we use what we get. Now we have one final step to complete before our game's core gameplay is complete, and that is giving our square a more respectable fit. And so I hopped into GIMP again and used 100% of my power to come up with this.
I'm tired of the facts. I'm tired of anyone who thinks that I'm in the same.
I be popping bottles, sparkles and champagne.